Hi my darlings, I'm Sophie Darling and welcome back to the channel. Today we are reacting to episode 21 of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood and I am so excited to learn more. This show is getting really intense and we're only like 21 episodes in. We haven't even got to like the halfway mark, or if we hit the halfway mark, there's like 64 episodes. We still have a lot of content to see and it's already this good. I get so excited to watch this show. It is phenomenal. I can't wait to see the other Sin's reaction to Lus being gone, and if she's actually gone, she might be gone because we know that they're not immortal. They can be killed, and yeah, she may actually just be dead, but then that paves the way for the other Sins to be erased as well. And I realized I was maybe being dumb in the previous episode. I think it was being established that what they've made are just bodies, but they're not actually people. They're just bodies that can be formed. So I think it functions in a similar way, that they know how to make a body, but you can't bring back what is dead. So they just make something, but it's not the original person that they're trying to bring back. But then I wonder if that's the process through which you can make a homunculus, because then it's a man-made person, it's a man-made body, because you know what you need to make a body, but it's not an actual living, breathing person. So then with the sacrifices, is that to then make the Philosopher's Stones to implant into these bodies to create more powerful weapons for the future? Because obviously the people they're targeting are like the best of the best. They're state alchemists. They're incredibly strong. So it looks as if maybe they're targeting people that they believe they can weaponize because their abilities are so like exceptional that they would be powerful Philosopher's Stones. They can place into these artificial bodies that they've made and then they become homunculi. So I think maybe we're seeing the process of how an homunculi is created, such as in the human transmutation makes a body, but the body's not like an actual functioning person. But if you put a Philosopher's Stone in it, you create something that's artificial and man-made. So I think the Philosopher's Stone is what gives life to the homunculus. I think without the Philosopher's Stone, the homunculus doesn't function. It doesn't have the ability to behave like a person and act like a person, because what they create, these artificial humans that they've made, they have no characteristics other than these monstrous features. So I think they're not able to function without the power that the Philosopher's Stone grants them, which is including rejuvenation and their ability to live a long life. They're not immortal, but they can live a long life. So I think possibly what they're touching on is how the homunculuses are made. That technically Ed and Al made an artificial human because it was a man, it had black hair, it had no relation to their mom. They thought they had brought their mom back and they hadn't. And then also their teacher had brought back something similar, but she thought it was her child and that she'd killed her child twice, but she actually hadn't killed her child twice because lo and behold, it was an artificial man-made creation. Without further ado though, we're going to get into episode 21. I mean, she hit every mark. No bullet went to waste. He's alive! Oh, I'm so happy. They're biding their time. Oh, gluttony! It would also be too suspicious. Wait. Are they sacrificing people to get into the door? Because they're saying to open the door. So is that what they need to sacrifice all these people for? Is to like gain access to truth and what lies beyond? Also, why is it when it says father, it locks in on Al and Ed's dad, like father, entrusted it to me? Because we've already seen the alchemist that makes them, and it's not Ed and Al's dad. Now I'm like doubting myself, but it was really weird that they were like father entrusted, and then they like lock in on their dads. There's no way, because they've been alive for like 200 years. There's no way their dad made the homunculi. That would be such a fucking twist if it was.
あっちにあるっていう僕の肉体は栄養取ってないんだよ。そんな体に戻れたとしても。
Oh no! Like, what if I'm decomposing? He's so adorable.
その過程で俺とアルの精神が混戦してしまった可能性はないだろうか。
どういうこと？
こっちにいる俺とあっちのアルの肉体がつながってる可能性はないかってことだ。
So he's able
ほ
to
ら、俺っ
locate
て
it?
年の割に身長小さい。
Short. So is he basically saying that the body is sustained by him in the real world? Because they're connected by the spirit.
牛乳かよ。
当たり前でしょ。そういえば兄さんってしょっちゅう寝てる。もしかして僕の分まで睡眠取ってくれてる。
Yeah. So like what he does on the outside impacts the body in this weird realm because their spirits are connected. That would make sense and provide a reasoning for why his body wouldn't be decomposed.
第三研究所の地下に入ってから数えていた歩数をもとにあの大扉までのおおよその距離を出しました。方角がはっきりしないので研究所を中心に円を描いてみたのですが。
中央司令部。しかもこの建物は
大総統官邸。その地下にホムンクルスたちが。
Oh,
大総
oh,
統が連中とつながっている可能性もあり。
they're making the connections
情報を引き出そうともせず殲滅した。
because greed
大
was
総統
wayward.
不可解だな。いずれにしろ敵は軍の相当上まで食い込んでいる。以後心して相対するべきだろう。ホムンクルスに大総統。予想外にでかい獲物が釣れたな。
大きすぎる気もしますが。
やりがいがあっ
That
ていい
no
だ
one
ろ
will
う。
believe them.
さあ、君たちにはバリバリ働いてもらうぞ。
ああ、その件ですが、一抜けさせてもらいます。
He's resting.
俺の両足。
Oh wait, no, he's not resting. Oh, John. I thought he was making a joke about him being injured and that's why he couldn't pursue, but no.
何企んでる？
企んでると分かっててあれをロス少尉と断定したのか。戦友とはありがたいものだ。
I knew he was in on it.
共犯者だろう。お前さんが
I knew
焼いて
it.
俺が解剖。イシュバールは巨大な実験場だった。あんまり危なっかしいことをしてるといつかしっぺ返しを食らうぞ。
もう食らってしまった。
何かあったのか？
部下が。
たく、女に刺されて退役なんて笑えるよな。
退役してどうすんだよ。
実家は雑貨屋をやってんだ。電話番くらいはできるだろう。
Oh,
オートメールには
bless.
できないのか？
下半身丸々神経回路が途切れてるから。
So even with automail, because they need to attach to the nerves. Surely he doesn't have to retire just because he's paralyzed from the waist down. There has to be a way.
ハボックの足のことですが、鋼の大将から仕入れた情報です。
Oh, okay.
ドクター・マルコー。 医療分野に精通した
He specialized in healing, but lust also
賢者の死。
got to him,
俺の
right?
休暇延長できますか？
Oh, they're gonna
許可する。
do what they can to help Jean recover. But Lust saw Marco before, so I don't know if he'll be there.
か？
喋っちゃダメですよ。
美人が多くていいところだったぞ。
Oh,
あ、そうだ、少佐。今、憲兵司令部から回ってきたのですが、
he needs to
国
think
家錬
she's
金術師に優先
dead
して
for
伝え
the
るように
time
と。
being.
これは
Oh no, what's Bradley up to?
地下への入り口は？
なかった。だが錬金術で塞いだ跡はあった。
そっか。ここからホムンクルスに会いに行くのは無理み
Is
たいだ
Bradley
ね。
about to start another conflict
奴ら
to keep
俺
people
のことを
busy and
貴重な人
distracted?
柱だから死なれちゃ困るって言ってた。
僕も言われた。
人柱ってのは多分扉を開けて帰ってこられる力量を持った術師のことだ。連中から聞き出してやる。
That's what I want to know too.
あれ、ブロッシュ軍さ。
憲兵司令部より全市に通達。スカーが再びセントラルに現れた模様。死者3名すべて国家錬金術師。
Oh
他
shit!
負傷者多数。
Is it Scar or is it Envy pretending to be Scar? Because Scar's with Yoki and May.
スカーがロックベルのおじさんとおばさんを？
まだ確定したわけじゃないけどな。
そんな。兄さん、これウィンリーには言っちゃダメだよ。
言えるかよ。もうあいつの泣き面なんざ見たくねえ。スカートはもう一度退治しなきゃならねえな。
真相を確かめるの。
I know Scar was still hellbent on destroying State Alchemists and going on this mission, but it feels weird that he would just show up in Central again when he's so wanted,
けど僕ら、この前スカーには一瞬でやられたん
and
だ
that
よ。
it could be Envy.
多分俺たち前より強くなって。
仮にホムンクルスが出てきたとしても、
Oh God.
どうやって捕まえるのさ。強い上にほとんど不死身なんだ。
Ow!
不死
Jeez!
身ということは？
不老不死ですね。
You guys just show up at the most inconvenient of times.
軍のごたごたには興味ないけど、ホムンクルスやらが不老不死なら話は別だ。
They're not immortal though. They can be
あ
destroyed.
れ、なんだか疑われてる？こっちも真剣なんだ。一族の命運がかかっている。
I mean, you can't really trust the military anymore.
いいだろう。ホムンクルス持ち逃げすんのよ。
約
He
束は守る
won't.
よ。一般の恩があるしね。
ルー
Oh
ムサー
no.
ビスだよ。
Oh no.
一般どころじゃねえじゃね
うるさい。明日早いの眠れない
待て、それキャンセルしてもう少しセントラルにいろ。
は？
In case I need you to fix my
そ
arm.
のほら腕壊れるかもっつうが、多分壊すっつうか。
壊す予定あるんかい。
Jesus Christ. If Scar doesn't kill him, Wimmery will.
まったく。
Not gonna be there.
ドクター
そう。退役の手続きを取りました。
まだ治らんと決まったわけでは。
自分がもう使えないってわからないほどバカじゃないっす。
You are still of use. Don't speak about yourself
動
like
けない
that.
駒はいらんでしょ
You're more than just a pawn, though. He cares
う。
about
何し
you.
てんだよ。あんたこんな下っ端に構ってる暇あんのかよ。ヒューズ准将との約束があるんだろうが。同情なんていらんのだよ。
No. When you're a soldier,
諦めさ
such
せて
an
くれよ。
injury makes you think that you have no value
頼
anymore.
むから。
But he does still have value. More than he realizes.
置いていくから追いついてこい。私は先に行く。上で待っているぞ。
He's not gonna give up on him.
あの人は生きることを諦めようとした私でさえ見捨てようとしなかった。
I'm gonna cry.
背中を預けると言ってくれた。捨てられないのよ。
バカだ。
So don't give
そ
up,
んな甘い
Sean.
ことでこの国を上り詰められるわけないじゃないですか。
そういうバカが 一人くらいいてもいいと思うわ。
He's a big
私の軍
softie.
服を持ってきてくれ。
まだ退院できる状態では。
I love him. He truly cares about everyone around him.
終わりのようですね。国家錬金術師エドワード・エレリック参上。
Oh, they're trying to lure Scar out.
そんなもの無用
To
無用。
spread the word.
大切な壺を壊してしまったの。直してもらえるかしら。
Because he keeps saying, I'm a state alchemist. Edward Elric. Ow, the fans. Also, what a pram.
錬金術師エドワード・エレリックでございます。
They're making themselves be bait.
街中俺の噂で持ちきりだな。
これだけ派手にやればね。
何もないことをしているな、鋼の。
大佐、もう退院していいのかよ。
一目につく。乗りたまえ。
マルコさんが行方不明。
おそらく奴らにさらわれたのだろう。
Oh, so he's still alive. Well, it makes sense because he knows how to make the Philosopher's Stone, so they probably need him.
見つけてほしいんだよ。奴とはもう一度戦わなきゃならねえ。
バカを言うな。イーストシティでどんな目にあったか忘れたのか。
スカーが怖いんですか？この前の大佐殿は役立たずでいらっしゃい
Wow.
や
He's
める
also
な。
injured.
今日は快晴だ。
Jeez.
この代わりヘロヘロじゃねえか。
She senses something.
どうした？雨も降ってねえのにびっしょりだぜ。もっと注意。撃っちゃダメだ。大佐を真似て釣りでもしてみようかと思ってんだ。
It could be Scar, but
兄さんの
I
餌
don't
に
know.
ホムンクルスを引っ張り出します。兄さんの奴らにとって死なせてはならない人柱だから。
Oh, okay. They suspect that the homunculi will show up to protect Ed from Scar because he's a valued sacrifice. So they can't let Scar kill him or Al.
始まったな。
Very smart.
そこの二人、引いてください。つかず離れずってのはしんどい。まだかホムンクルス。
I'm shocked that he showed up though in the middle of the city.
よし、次は17区だ。楽しくなってきたぞ。こちら。
何がどうなってる。17区にもスカーだと。じゃあ3区のは何だ。
セントラル憲兵司令部より第8区へ。スカート少年が交戦中。
誤報が飛び交っている。なんだ4人目のスカ
Oh,
ーって。
because only the homunculi will know where the real Scar is.
大至急応援求む。
グロトニー。
似合う似合うよ。あのイシュバル人の匂い。
なんだこの気配は。感じたか、ランバン。
はい。
This is so clever.
人体破壊か。オートメールか。
Oh! Okay, so it is actually Scar then.
似合う似合うよ。
中に何人いるのかな。
誰？
逃げても無駄だ。
I hate that I find him so cute.
どこまでも追えるぞ。
敵？敵？
やはり。
ホムンクルス。
Oh.
おお、気配がわかるのかね。邪魔な能力だ。
This feels really reckless that he's showing himself.
ラファー。
Oh no! What the fuck? What? They can't just leave it at a cliffhanger like that. Jeez, I still have another episode to film, so don't worry. I am going to be seeing what happens. I'm just checking there's not like an end credit. Okay, 28 is the next one, and we're on 21, so we're fine. That's so risky. Has he just decided that like he doesn't care if people know that he's an homunculus? I can't say the word. I feel like I'm tripping up over my own tongue because he's not even hiding it anymore. He straight up is just revealing himself by protecting Gluttony. and the false reports so that they can lure out who's connected because they will know where the real Scar is. I'm shocked that Scar's here. I'm not quite sure why, because he was with Yoki and May the last time we saw him. But then we did see May on her own outside the train station because she didn't recognize Ed because she imagines Ed to be like a lot taller and she has a really romanticized view of him. So maybe they've already parted ways at this point. But the last time we saw Scar was they were all traveling together. So as to what's happened in that time frame, I have no clue. At first I thought it was envy because I thought they were maybe doing it to distract people from what had happened with Maria, and then also the whole injury that Roy and Jean have received and its connection to lust, and that maybe he was like, we need to start throwing in some decoys to stop people looking too deeply into me and my connection to it. Or maybe, I don't know, I just didn't think it was Scar, but it evidently is because the homunculi are tracking down Ed, and Ed's like, I'm using myself as bait. I just want to know what's been happening prior, because Scar was with Yoki and May, so we don't know what's caused him to split off, unless it is envy. But I feel like I never trust anyone to be the right person anymore because envy can shapeshift, and yeah, I just don't trust anybody right now. And the fact that Scar hasn't said like one thing, which is really unusual for him, he usually does speak. So the fact he hasn't said anything to Ed seems really weird to me. But I don't know. We'll see as it goes on. But fuck, I hope that she's okay. Bradley was just straight up holding nothing back, and her mask is off, but I'm hoping that she's managed to get out the way because she is quite quick. So I think maybe she's faster than Bradley realizes. She has some sick sense kind of knowledge going on. Like she could sense gluttony before she saw him, and she was able to strike him before he saw her. So I think maybe she's fast enough to detect the sword coming towards her and she's able to move out the way, but just in the nick of time. I'm hoping that's the case. But poor Jean, I really hope there is a way for Jean to stay with Roy and his comrades, because I think his wrestling with being a hindrance and a liability is just so incredibly poetic and realistic as well. Soldiers that find themselves injured after being in a combat situation are often forced into retirement because they're not seen as having any use anymore because their body doesn't function the same way. So it's realistic in that sense, but also the emotional turmoil that you would feel, that your existence is going to be a burden to everyone around you, and that sense of wanting to cut yourself off before you drag anyone else down. But he doesn't realize how much Roy cares for them. He doesn't see him as a pawn in his rise to the top. He doesn't see them as a body that is expendable to be used and abused at will for his own gain. He sees him as an equal, as someone that he's served with, as someone that he cares for. So he will do whatever he can, as will the others, to ensure that he can either recover or that he can do something that is beneficial whilst remaining in the military, or at least remaining by their side. It broke my heart to see him so dejected and sad, but it is such a realistic portrayal of what happens with people when they go through life altering injuries. You go from having an able body to being disabled, and it's a massive adjustment period, especially if you are a soldier and your body has been utilized for combat. How do you reconcile now having a body that doesn't work the same way it did before, and you now have to give up on what's been your career far earlier than you anticipated? It would create a sense of crisis of identity. I just think he needed to hear just how much Roy really does care for them, especially when he's berating Risa for giving up the will to live after believing that he was dead, even though she may have given up the will to live, but every bullet from the guns that she had, I think she had 3 of them, hit their mark. She never missed, which is absolutely amazing. So she may have given up and was willing to accept that death was better than living without Roy, and that she had failed her commander and therefore she didn't want to continue on. But if she was going down, she would make sure that every bullet counted. But Al was absolutely not going to leave her there, and he didn't. And then Roy came back, and it was all well and good. I thought Jean was making a little joke about him needing recovery time in a hospital, and then it got really serious. And I was like, oh God, I was like expecting a joke because the show is really good at like interjecting dark humor before like a really tense moment. So I thought it was just going to be a bit of dark humor, but no, it was like straight up really, really sad. And poor Jean is just gonna have to wrestle with the emotions that come with it. It'll be interesting to see if they do recover him, especially now that they know that Marco is missing. So they know that Marco probably is being kept by the homunculi, which has then triggered the fact that Marco knows more than what Ed and Al discovered through his hints and his notes, that there is something in his knowledge that the homunculi want to utilize. But if you enjoyed this react, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment below to help boost this video into the algorithm. And until next episode, bye!